There we go.
Where did it go? It like went somewhere.
We're streaming.
There we are. I don't know what happened, everybody, but it probably has something to do with this wonderful virus I have. Computer doesn't have it. I do. It is now time for What in the World with Paul Seaburn on newclevelandradio.net. And it's not Tuesday. How did we get here?
It's Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday. But whatever day it is, thank you to everyone who's tuning in. If you're tuning in live, thank you. If you're tuning in the future on YouTube or on any of the other platforms, thank you for joining us. Yes, we are New Cleveland. We're What in the World on newclevelandradio.net. Boy, there you go. Missed one day and I'm all messed up. I'm Paul Seaburn, the host of the show, and introducing me was Karen Hale, our producer and media mogul on newclevelandradio.net, the platform to be on, which is why we're there. And somewhere on the screen, if you're watching on YouTube, is the lovely and talented John DiNallo. Hi, John.
Ooh, lovely.
I don't know if I'm lovely, but I'm something.
John is here with, as always, every week with color commentary and also What in the World of Sports. So he's got a wild one for us this week. So make sure you stick around for that segment of the show. As those of you who have listened and tuned in before know, our motto is real news, sometimes strange, always funny. And that's what we do. All of our stories are real. They're from various media sources that I have through around the world, sometimes around the universe. In fact, I've got some alien stories today that we'll be talking about. Real news. We try to keep the stories quick, so that if you're not interested in one, hang on for 30 seconds or so, and we'll have another one. We try to keep them funny so that you enjoy yourself. We don't want to be the mass media that depresses you with medical news and business news and bad political news and all that crap. We are the place to have fun and learn some interesting and strange stuff every week. If that's what we're doing, and you're watching us on YouTube, please follow us. If you're listening to us on one of the other podcast platforms, please like us. Look me up on Facebook. Let me know that you're tuning in. We like to say hello. I want to say hello to Jay. I think Jay is listening to us today or sometime in the future. And our old friends in Texas, we'll be talking. I think I have a Texas story for some of you. So yeah, just join in and have some fun. And get ready, John and Karen. We've got some wild stories this week, including, let's see, where are we from this week? England. I've got a couple of stories from England. A ghost construction worker in England. This is a big one. Coming from Malaysia, phantom knockers. This is for you, John. Phantom knockers.
Interesting play on words.
I know. Be ready. A spy chicken. This is right out of Washington, D.C. They found a spy chicken around the Pentagon. We're going to talk a little bit about that. For those of you, this is today is the 9th, which means we're 5 days away from Valentine's Day. So if you're listening to us before Valentine's Day, I've got some Valentine's Day tips for you. What else? A weird way to get headaches in China, other than falling down during the Olympics. My favorite story of the week, a lady in Missouri, or is it Missouri, talks every day, she says, with blue extraterrestrials.
Oh,
so
boy.
We're going to talk a little bit about that, find out where she found them, how she met them. Vampire graveyard in England. That's another one that I always like talking about, vampires. So, and world records, John, I got some world records for you, more trivia, news. Good. Strange sports. John's got a great sport for us. And then before we're done, we play everybody's favorite weird news game, Bluff the co-host. So without further ado, when I have something strange trivia-wise, you always hear the horn. And if it's a really bad joke, Bigfoot generally chimes in. So everybody's with us this week. The goose, Bigfoot. Let's get started. Okay, so let's talk about Valentine's Day right off the bat here. I gotta get my timing set here because we're at 2:00 instead of 3:30. Next week is Valentine's Day. This is chocolate is what everybody wants, Karen. I would believe is what my wife certainly wants, and I know John's wife wants. That's what everybody seems to want. So in Japan, they've got a brand new way of serving chocolate. It's called milk chocolate bars on a bun. This comes from a fast food chain, a hamburger chain, so to speak, in Japan. For Valentine's Day, they will be offering chocolate bars, a wide chocolate bar broken in half. So it's like a quarter pound, a double burger, a double chocolate burger on a plain old white bun. And apparently women in Japan go crazy for this. So
Really?
single guys on a budget, go to Japan and check this out. I wish we had this in the United States, because it would certainly have saved me in a number of years when I forgot it was Valentine's Day. And on my way home from work, I need to stop someplace. I could have stopped at 7-Eleven, got a Hershey bar, or 6 Hershey bars, a bag of hot hamburger buns. There's 6 buns there, right?
Sure.
The lovely Donna gets 6 Valentines.
Wow.
Would that work, John? No.
I think that
Wow.
the numbers were in your favor, Paul.
I would.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like that. No.
I know. Okay, so here's what you need. So I said we'd have some advice. The most popular candy, according to Candy People, Valentine's Day this year, are the conversation hearts. The little hearts with the messages on it.
Right.
Be mine.
Sure.
Apparently, that's the #1 gift. Be mine. I never quite understood that one. To me, the best one would be something like cash is better, or something like that. But also, I saw a study on the most popular candies by state, and this is interesting. I tend to say that no matter what they say on the political side, in general, we're pretty much a homogenous country. People are the same everywhere, but apparently not when it comes to candy. So check this out, Karen. The most popular candy in places like Colorado, Connecticut, Ohio, Michigan, in let's see, 16 states in total. So the most popular is the heart-shaped box of chocolate. So in general, you get a heart-shaped box of chocolate, you're pretty safe in most states. 12 states, including Alaska, California, and Florida, they would have to be different. They favor the conversation hearts. So they go with the Be Mine bag. Arkansas or Arizona, Iowa, and Kansas, and 6 other states, most popular candy, M&Ms. So, and I guess, I don't know if that's the pink M&Ms or if it's any M&Ms. 5 states like Hershey's Kisses, including Arkansas, Delaware, and Texas, of all places. Keep them in the refrigerator because they'll melt. 3 states like solid chocolate hearts, Maine, Montana, and Rhode Island. Go figure. Now, making a comeback, apparently these haven't been popular for a few years, Cupid corn, which is candy corn. We've talked about this on this show. Candy corn with red and white stripes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If I see some, I'll get them for you, John.
Oh, thanks, Paul.
The top candy in Nebraska and West Virginia. So I'm thinking this must be 100% corn syrup for it to be popular in Nebraska, the Cornhusker state. And Kentucky and Wyoming, most popular candy, chocolate roses. Very, very romantic and very expensive from what I understand. So Kentucky and Wyoming, you want to do your lady a favor, get her one of those. And in Alabama, the only state in the union where this candy is the most popular, candy necklaces. So if you're down in Birmingham listening to us, your honey, your sweetie, make her happy, get her a candy necklace. Karen doesn't seem to care for the candy necklace.
No, and I really thought Ohio would be either chocolate covered strawberries or chocolate covered grapes.
Chocolate covered grapes. Now that's an odd one.
Well, hey,
I've never seen those.
Mally's is known for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For those, noisy area where we are, Mally's is a local, very big locally chain of
Yep.
of candy stores. Home of the Buckeyes.
They're good.
They're famous. Yeah, a ball of peanut butter covered in chocolate. Yeah,
That I would like.
excellent candy. So after eating all that candy, you got to get into shape, right? So
Right.
let's talk a little bit about exercising. So John, this one's for you. I said this is a sport. The guy by the name of Kai Sandmeyer, who is a 30-year-old IT professional in Germany, set a new world record. It was just he said it last year, but it was just approved this week. And I do have a picture I want to share with you because it's just so unbelievable. It's almost hard to explain it. But what Kai did was he set a new world record by hula hooping in the plank position. So the plank position means he's like doing a push-up, but he's on his elbows and on his toes. Okay. But he's spinning a hula hoop. So you may ask, isn't the hula hoop bouncing off the ground every time he spins it? Well, the answer is he is balanced between two tables. And if you can't imagine that, Google him or take a look at us on YouTube, and you can see this gentleman, Kai, is dangerously set up with his feet on one table, his elbows and his upper body on the other, and in the middle, he's spinning a hula hoop around. John, the record, 6.34 minutes. He spun that hula hoop until he finally gave up.
Amazing. That's an amazing feat. Oh my God.
How did he get that hula hoop on?
I don't know, Kieran. I was thinking the same thing. He's supposed to get up there by himself, I think, according to, so that he can get the record. I don't know. He broke the record by 3 minutes, so he must be good at it. Although, needless to say, despite the fact that he now has rock hard abs and a 28-inch waist, he's single. Go figure. He spends every weekend, he says he spends before work, after work, all his free time on weekends practicing doing the hula hoop in the plank position, just so he can get the record.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a life.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I had another comment on that. I mean, this really looks like a torture device to me. It doesn't look like fun. I assume that it's getting his waist in shape, and of course doing the plank. Boy, never get into an argument with a planker, because they swear that planking is the #1 exercise ever invented in history. Until you ask them to box or something, how's that planking working out for you there? But plenty of people do it. So God bless you. Do something. So John, for those of us who don't have a whole lot of time on our hands or a gym membership, this is for us. According to a new study, I'm going to get this guy down here because I don't want to look at him anymore here. If you don't want to do horizontal planking, hula hooping, and you don't have a whole lot of time, you can get fit, according to this new study, by lifting weights for as little as 3 seconds a day. That's 3 seconds.
3 seconds.
3 seconds. That's right. 1, 2, 3. You're fit, John. Here's what they say. This is a legitimate study. Performing a single bicep curl at maximum effort. So it's the most you can possibly lift, 10 pounds easily. Do it once in 3 seconds, and you don't need to exercise anymore. I thought about doing this. I went to the gym, but the line was too long by the dumbbells. So I said, forget it.
You were thwarted.
Yeah. Well, actually, John, if you do the math, it's actually 6 seconds of exercise, because 3 seconds for one arm and then 3 seconds for the other arm, unless you don't want to be off balance with just one giant bicep.
No, we don't want to be off balance.
No, people, you don't want to know what they'll think of you if you look like that. But I was thinking, I'm doing the math. Okay, so 3 seconds. It says if you do it for 3 seconds, it leads to a 10% increase in muscle strength in just 1 month. So 3 seconds a day, 30 days, you get a 10% increase. So I figure, okay, if I want to get 100%, I have to do 10 times 3, that's 30 seconds. So if I do 30 seconds of curls, that's all, every day, I will increase my biceps by 100%.
100%.
100%, yeah. I could have Arnold arms in a month just by doing 30 seconds on each arm.
There's something wrong with this.
What?
I don't think it works.
No, this makes perfect sense. But it's only for your arm. That's what's wrong with it, Karen. You figured it out. It's only for your biceps, which are the only, your guns, as the bodybuilders call them. So think about that, John. Would you want to be built as you are, except have Arnold Schwarzenegger biceps?
No, that would no.
Your arms are stuck way out here. You can't scratch your nose. You can't don't even get into what you can't do in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Because your arms are so big, you can't bend them.
It would be a lifestyle change, Paul. It would be a dramatic
major lifestyle change.
I'm not going there. I'm not going there. Sorry.
No, you can't face palm. How could you face palm if you wanted to say, holy smoke? You can't. Your arms are too big.
Trapped in your own body, right?
And too heavy. Think how heavy they would be.
Oh,
you want to give somebody your finger, you throw your back out trying to lift your arm up. Then what? So we're not. So
it's just a bad end all the way around.
We agree. We're not going to do this exercise. Is that?
Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Okay. So here's one for the women who are listening. So we go for the exercise for the guys. Now, women like to have pretty faces. Okay. They like to have nice skin all over, but especially on their face, Karen. I'm sure you can attest to that. So this is for you. Oscar Mayer. Now, you never thought I would say the words nice looking face and Oscar Mayer in the same sentence, but that's
no way.
Here. Oscar Mayer has come out with face masks that look like a slice of bologna with 2 holes for your eyes and a hole for your nose and a hole for your mouth. Like we used to do when we were kids. When mom wasn't looking, you hold the bologna up to your face and stick your tongue through it. All right. Well, they're marketing a face mask that looks like a slice of bologna that's supposed to help moisturize your face, just like a moisturizer would. This is the company whose customers are needed to have Bologna spelled out because they don't know how to spell it. Can you spell UNEDIBLE unedible? Because you're not supposed to eat these things. They're not made out of bologna. They're made out of plastic and some sort of cream on the inside.
Yeah.
So then I'm thinking, okay, so I've seen women with face masks on. Sometimes they wear them to bed. Okay. Well, if you sleep with your dog, you're in big trouble right off the bat. Possibly with your husband as well, depending on what he's into. I put this up on Facebook, and a friend of mine said this can only lead to French's kissing. Slice of bologna on your face. But what this reminded me of was the famous Oscar Mayer bologna commercial, which is where that Bologna came from. Little kids singing a song, my bologna has a first name. I'm not going to torture you with that earworm. You know what it is. Do you know when that commercial came out, Karen and John, and those of you out there? I'll bet you very few of you were around at that time.
Had to have been in the 40s, probably.
Oh, in the 40s. Oh, no, it's a little more recent than that.
Really?
Yeah, 1973.
73. Wow.
1973. Yeah. The little kid, his name was Andy Lambros. He was 4 years old at the time. So he would now be, he'd be 50 something, 52. Did you know, I checked him out. He became a serial killer. I'm kidding.
I'm glad you're kidding.
Poor little kid, yeah. Singing that song drove him crazy. He's probably a vegetarian, though, I would think.
Probably.
So anyways, let's see. How are we doing on time here? I want to get to the alien story. So I don't want to I thought this story comes from Japan. Uh, squirrels apparently drive people nuts all over the world. So in Japan, there's these Kobe University discovered that Japanese squirrels can actually eat poisonous toadstool mushrooms and it doesn't kill them. In fact, they're an example of what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. They eat these poison mushrooms and they get bigger and healthier. Why do they do this? I don't know. I was thinking you could give them those magic mushrooms with the psychedelics in them, but then they just drive you even more nuts. It just stories about squirrels always remind you of my uncle Nick. Uncle Nick and Aunt Imogene. They lived in Michigan, by the way, and we used to go visit them. And Uncle Nick liked to feed squirrels, so he rigged up a little doorbell for his squirrel friend. And he didn't just feed them nuts; he used to feed them handmade saltines with peanut butter on them. So we would
Really?
first time I went to visit him, the doorbell's ringing. I go to look out the door, I don't see anything. He says, "Look on the ground. There's a squirrel pressing a doorbell on the ground, waiting for Uncle Nick to come with his homemade saltines and peanut butter."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And he didn't realize these are little rodents.
Oh no, I'm sure he did. He didn't care.
Oh.
So I'm thinking now we just got one of those fancy schmancy doorbells that shows you the people there. I can just see now that I do something like this. The squirrels are going to be on the ground waving to me, trying to get the ring to go off so that I come out with whatever mixed nuts or anything
Whatever
I'm
treat
crazy
you
enough.
have for them. Whatever treat you have for them, right?
Yeah, I'll give them my if the lovely Donna buys one of those face mask bologna slices, I'll give them that. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I don't know about that. Okay, so here's everybody, I think everyone has suffered from a headache at one time or another. And some people, unfortunately, worse than others. No one suffered a headache worse than this guy in China. He suffered from chronic headaches for years, almost 2 decades. He finally went to the doctor and got an MRI. And the doctor said, the reason why you are suffering from headaches is you have a bullet in your head.
Bullet?
Yeah, a bullet. A bullet has been lodged in his head for 20 years. So then he says, oh, the bullet. He says, my little brother and I, when we were kids, we were playing with an air gun. And he shot me in the head with an air gun. And it didn't hurt, but we didn't want to tell my parents. So we just didn't mention it.
No,
He's been living with this bullet in his head ever since and wondering why he has these headaches. Now, Karen and John and folks out there, would you forget a bullet in your head?
No, I would have gone running to my mother right away.
I would say no. I would say no.
Yeah, and at some point, everybody's got, for those people who have brothers and sisters, at some point you make those secret deals with your siblings. Oh my God, don't tell mom and dad. Yeah, but a few years later, you don't feel that way anymore. And then it's like, I'm telling mom, you shot me in the head with the bullet.
It's extortion. It's
extortion. That's right. They didn't do that. What sibling love that must be that they never told their parents. Even he suffered through headaches. So apparently, I don't know what they're going to do.
He suffered through headaches. They never did an MRI or a CAT scan.
Never. Yeah. Well, this is China. They do things differently in China.
Yeah, okay.
Evidently.
Evidently, that's right. So, let's talk about the chicken at the Pentagon. I thought this was the most unbelievable story. So, the Pentagon, the most secure building in the world, so we thought. They look out the window last week, and there's a chicken wandering around a very high security area at the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia. So they had to send military personnel out there to capture the chicken. And then they had to, because it was a government operation, they had to report it to the media. But they wouldn't tell the media anything. they wouldn't tell, it was on a mission and what that mission might be. And they didn't say what they did with the chicken either. So to me, this sounds like an episode of Get Smart. Now, I'm dating myself, I know, with that. But for the younger listeners out there, it was a movie about called Get Smart a few years ago. Maxwell Smart was a secret agent for Control, and his partner was 99, and they went against a secret organization from the enemy called Chaos with a K. So this is the episode. This is an episode of Get Smart. Chaos has a chicken. Where did they get the chicken? From Kiev, of course. So the chief calls Max and says, Max, Chaos has the chicken. We need to do something. It's a spy chicken. We need to do something. So Max tries to train a fox. But everybody knows there's only one fox allowed at Control, and that was 99. So he can't get the fox in. And that's as far as I got on the episode. And that's what amazed me. This could have been one of those feel-good stories of the year, coming from the Pentagon, who everybody fears and hates. They caught a chicken. It was lost. They took it back to the White House where it came from, or from Congress. I don't know, whoever was raising chickens in the Rose Garden. They could have made a really nice story out of it. But they didn't. So what can I say? England is better at feel-good stories. And here's a feel-good story from England. A construction crew. This is the ghost story. So this construction crew is working on Kiora Hall, which is an old building, one of the oldest buildings in Stockton, England. And there's construction guys all over the place. And they're meeting for lunch. And they start swapping stories. And instead of lunches, and they each one of them said, "Did you smell lavender perfume today?" And the others go, "Yeah, I smelled that too." "Did you hear footsteps today?" "Yeah, I heard them too." All these construction workers, they're hearing footsteps. But the best one, the guys that were on one particular floor all by themselves, they were feeding a cable through a hole in the ceiling. And all of a sudden, something grabbed the cable and pulled it through for them. And they could not explain. There was no one above them. So something pulled. So then they went to the owners of the building and they told them what was happening. They said, "Oh, that's the gray lady." All these old buildings in England, if they have a ghost and it's a female, it's the white lady or the gray lady. So this one happens to have a gray lady. And the owner said, "Oh, yeah, she does all kind of stuff around here. She wears perfume." I'm just wondering, what if she works construction along with these guys? Do they have to pay her union scale? Because I know they're big on construction unions in England. And more importantly, if she works construction, does she wear a ghoul belt? Boy, both of those, I'm going to cross those out. We're going to edit that out of the. We'll edit those two. Where's the horn? Yeah, that's right. I know Bigfoot says no. I don't think so. He's not happy with that one either. Okay, so the guys were complaining. This is the biggest thing. They were complaining about the ghost. Why complain? The ghost is helping you out. To me, if I was working, hanging drywall or painting or whatever, and all of a sudden the wall was painted for me, I'd be thrilled.
Me too.
Yeah. So this was this. So as I mentioned, we go all around the world with our stories. This one comes from NASA. So Steve Jurczyk, who is a former head administrator at NASA, he retired, and now he's starting his own company to a commercial space company called Quantum. And what he's going to do, he's going to build a network of robotic space stations between Earth and the moon, so that when astronauts start going back and forth, they have a rest stop that they can stop at. What do astronauts need a rest stop for?
They're going to go to the potty. They're going to have their Starbucks.
Starbucks. That's what I was missing. I said they needed to get their beef jerky, their Slim
Oh,
Jim.
that too.
Starbucks. Yeah, see, or Slurpees. But
Yep.
you know, if they're drinking those 64-ounce Slurpees like 7-Eleven had, they need to have a lot of those rest stops
Yep.
because you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
or use those funky toilets that they have on those spaceships. And who's going to clean them? Do they have a robot cleaner that goes up there, comes out of the little door in the back, and with a robotic mop and
Probably.
yeah. I don't understand it. I don't understand. All right, so here's one for you. Here's a quick one. A group of kids, 15 teenagers in Mexico. This comes from Mexico. 12 of them were underage, so they were between the ages of 14 and 17. They were arrested in a cemetery in Durango, Mexico, in northwest Mexico. Arrested in a cemetery for using a Ouija board. Okay, cops showed up. There was somebody saw a light or something using a Ouija board. What were they charged with? Disturbing the resting in peace. Oh man, I'm on a roll here. Rolling downhill.
You only get better. You only get better, Paul.
I think I need to go talk about this lady with the blue alien. That's what we need to do. Okay.
Okay.
So this story comes to us from this is a big. By the way, for those of you who are new to What in the World, I am the head writer and editor at Mysterious Universe. Our website is at mysteriousuniverse.org, and I do a lot of strange stories. They're much longer than some of the ones that we talk about on What in the World. This story in particular, though, I wanted to bring to What in the World. It was a very popular on Mysterious Universe. So this comes from Missouri. The where'd she go? Okay, so lady's name is Sky Nova. Lily Nova is her name. Nice name. So Lily is a nutritionist. That was her regular job. So when COVID hit, she wasn't getting much call to be a nutritionist, and she had nothing to do. So she goes outside. This is what she says. She goes outside, starts looking around and taking pictures of the stars. That was something she always wanted to do, taking pictures of the stars. She looks up one day and she sees a UFO. She starts taking pictures of UFOs. It seems to be coming back more and more often. So she knows a little bit about aliens. And we've talked about aliens on the show. Aliens come in all different sizes and shapes and colors. There's little gray aliens, and there's tall, pale aliens, and there's reptilians. So, but she happened to see a very odd looking alien. So she said, my first encounter with aliens was very intense. I went outside for fresh air, locked eyes with a bright light hovering over the neighborhood, went to investigate. A second UFO shows up, and then they hovered over there. And then she looks and she says, one of the first beings I saw coming out was a girl with light blue skin. She had no hair, okay, blue hair, blue skin, no hair, but she was very beautiful, if you can imagine that. She's wearing a skin-tight gray suit, so color coordinated. You know what goes better with blue skin, but gray,
Right.
a gray skin-tight jumpsuit. That's what I would have worn. I would have chosen that. And then she looks behind the girl, and there's other people, bigger people, also blue, also in the gray jumpsuits, watching her. So she says some of them had light blonde hair. So now you're really color coordinated. You've got blue skin, gray suit, blonde hair, almost sexy. You know, this sounds like if there was a Playboy for aliens, this sounds like the way they would be dressed,
Sure.
or as the case may be. They had fair and glowing skin and bright blue eyes to go with the blue skin. But she thought that they were telepathically beaming the images into her head and this is a smart lady, and John always talks about this, you know, how come we never have pictures of UFOs and pictures of aliens? Well, she was taking pictures of the UFOs, but she never got pictures of the aliens. So looks up, takes the UFO, look down, picture of the alien, the picture's blank. So she thinks they were telepathically beaming their images into her head. Smart woman. Okay. So Lily Nova's her name. So Lily Nova said she couldn't believe what she was seeing. This is groundbreaking. Okay, so what does she do? Does she run to NASA or to the local museum and say, I got aliens in my yard. You people need to come to see them. No, she starts a business. she starts putting up TikTok videos, okay, which are the bane of my existence. Instead of doing something useful, people put up TikTok videos. So she puts up videos of her UFOs and videos of her talking about the aliens. At least she doesn't dance while she's talking about them, which is
That's good.
seems like everybody does that on TikTok. So now she's come up with a business. She calls herself the Cosmic Channeler, and she helps other people channel aliens, and discover their star origins. Okay, which means that you're a star person. You have a special gift, but you don't know how to access it. So you go to visit Lily Nova and you give her your money, and she tells you how to access your special powers. We need to do that because I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I've got. I know John's got special powers. I need to find out what they are. Yeah, so we can make money on it.
Right.
So yeah. So then, so how is she making money besides charging people to do the channeling? She's selling T-shirts, of course, coffee mugs with little aliens on them. So, most people who are contacted by aliens are terrified. I do stories on people who are just absolutely beyond, they need to see a counselor after they've been in contact. Not Lily Nova. Lily Nova is pumped. She's definitely going to make money off these aliens. The blue ones. I wish she'd draw a picture of them because I'd like to see what they look like. She hasn't done that yet. I think that's what she should do. But she says she's dedicated. And also she calls it astrophotography. So she sells her pictures of UFOs and pictures of stars. So why waste a good picture? You take a picture of the Big Dipper and there's no UFO in there. You don't throw it away. You say, look, what you need is a picture of the Big Dipper. Not that you can't go out and look at it every night yourself, but apparently there's people who can't. So am I to judge Lily Nova for what she charges people for? Heck no. If you can figure out how to make money selling pictures of the Big Dipper, God bless her. That's what I say. So way to go, Lily Nova. When you get some pictures or drawings of the blue aliens, please let me know. I will be happy to give you worldwide coverage on What in the World. How about that? Now,
and as soon as I get those images beamed into my head, I will draw them for you.
Oh, there you go. And then you can sell the T-shirt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So now this I want to talk about this story because it's, as John pointed out, I have to be very careful when I describe what it's about. But this story comes from Malaysia, and it's about people who are seeing and hearing phantom knockers. Now, when I saw this story, I knew I had to write about it, but it reminded me immediately of the movie Young Frankenstein. And I believe everybody remembers the scene when Dr. Frankenstein walks up to the door for the first time of the Frankenstein castle, and he looks up and at the door and he says, "What knockers?" And Inga, who's with him, says, "Oh, thank you, doctor."
That's a hysterical scene.
Good old Mel Brooks. You can't beat Mel Brooks. That was Gene Wilder and what's her name?
Terry Garr.
Right. But knocking is never a good thing. You hear a knock at the door, especially if it's in an odd hour. Most people are concerned that it's going to be bad news. It's going to be bad news. Or it's going to be something scary, one or the other. And that's what's happening in Malaysia. This is in the town of Klabang, which is an interesting name in itself. So people all over Klabang. It's a fairly large city. In this particular report that I was reading, at least 25 different houses in 1 week called the police because there was something knocking at their door, and they looked out or opened the door and there was nothing or no one there. Knocking lasted several minutes. So this is who lets somebody knock on the door for several minutes? After a minute or 30 seconds, you answer the door, right, John? You don't
Yes, you do.
go away.
Yeah.
I gave it the office. Does anybody say that anymore? I gave it the
I don't
office.
know. I think
Yeah.
so many people are remote. They don't give it to
Yeah.
you. They're remote right now. The
That's
remote,
right. You can't use that excuse.
you can't anymore.
I
Right.
gave. So, there's witnesses coming up all over the place to the police in Malaysia that they hear the knocking between midnight and 2 a.m. And one of the villagers claimed that he saw an alien, and he had a picture of it. I don't have the picture, John. I'm sorry. It was in Malaysian, and I didn't understand it.
Oh, okay. All right.
But the police said it was a hoax, so they didn't want to release the picture. I think that's what it was. So I was trying to figure out what this could be, and there's a lot of different paranormal creatures that knock. The knocker. There's one called the knocker, and this comes from England for our friends in England. Actually, from Cornwall for my good friend Simon, the high-priced import. The knocker is a subterranean gnome that lives in Cornwall and Devon, I guess it is. And what they would do, the reason why they knocked is they lived in the mines. And if the mine was about to collapse or something was going to happen, they would knock on the walls, and that was supposed to warn the miners to run out. So a little tricky guys. Now, mining is big in Malaysia, so it could be that some of these knockers moved from Cornwall to Malaysia, and they're warning the miners there. Bigfoot is also a knocker, and our good friend Don down in Florida, he's heard Bigfoot knocking many times, as he's always mentions to me when I talk to him. But the biggest knocker, so to speak, is Bigfoot. Oh no, I just said that. Bigfoot is the Tommy knockers. Now, Stephen King wrote a great book called The Tommy Knockers. And I don't know, do either of you remember?
I remember. Yes, I remember the book.
Everybody remembers the name, of course,
Sure.
especially guys named Tommy. The Tommy knockers were actually aliens, and that was just the premise of the book. Which is an idea that he got from another science fiction writer, H.P. Lovecraft, who wrote a short story called The Color Out of Space, which was about Tommy knockers that came from outer space. So it could be that the people in Malaysia are actually being bothered by aliens who are polite enough and tall enough to reach up and knock on their door. Or it could be the wind. I don't know. That's what they're saying. So they have no idea. So this has been going on for weeks. And I love these stories because the police can't do anything. The government, they don't want to have anything to do with it. Ignore it. We have bigger problems. So it's good for people like me who write about weird stuff like that because I love that story. So if you hear weird knocking, call me up. Not at 2 a.m, of course, but we'll figure it out for you. All right. So let's see how we're doing here. I think it's about time to move into the sports arena. Now, it's winter here in Northeast Ohio, and where the three of us live. And I saw a statistic today that we have had snow on the ground for 16 straight days, which was the longest since 2015, I think, which I thought we had snow for quite a while. So it's always a good time for winter sports. And of course, the Winter Olympics are on TV. So all the more reason for John DiNallo and What in the World of Sports to present us with a winter sport. Sometimes he finds some that may have been a rejected winter sport from the Winter Olympics. I don't know about this one, but this is an awfully strange one with an awfully strange name. So without further ado, let's turn it over to John DiNallo and What in the World of Sports.
All right. Sounds very good. Thanks, Paul. Thank you. Well, the winter sport this week, it has a unique name. Spongy.
Spongy.
Now, it looks
Well,
like
not squeegee.
not squeegee,
Not SpongeBob.
not SpongeBob, but spongy.
Spongy. Okay. All right.
It looks like a sport for ice hockey, or a sport like ice hockey for people who can't skate.
Who
And
can't skate like me? Okay.
I'm there also, and are afraid of getting hit in the face by a frozen puck.
Oh, that's me.
At
Yep.
least that's you and I, Paul. Karen, I
Yeah.
don't know if you're.
Yeah,
I still have all my teeth and I want to keep them.
absolutely.
Now, formerly it was known as sponge hockey, and it
Oh.
actually began as road or street hockey, which is almost as old as ice hockey. Now, when we were kids growing up,
Yeah.
we played street hockey.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
had,
I never played that.
we
Street
had
football
sticks,
and yeah.
but we had sticks, and we would have a puck. We would have a
Yeah.
puck, and it was only good when it was ice on the road or snow on the road.
Oh,
which,
yeah.
which goes back
Perfectly
many
safe.
years, which goes back many years for us. But about in terms of ice and snow on the ground, when we were younger, a lot younger, it seemed like snow never went away in Northeast Ohio.
That's
Right.
true. Yeah.
It was snow in November, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden it seemed like through February there was always snow,
That's
various
true.
amounts of it, but always snow on the ground.
Gray
But,
snow, like the aliens. Yeah.
Now, there you have it. It's connected, Paul. So those sports are played on roller skates with regulation pucks and sticks. That was the older sport, sponge hockey.
Okay.
But sometime then in the 1950s, an unknown person at the River Heights Community Center in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, let kids play hockey outside in their boots. And they played it with a soft, spongy puck made out of a soft rubber ball. And that's how Spongy started.
Ah, oh, so I
So it's-
think you cut the top and the bottom off and you leave the spongy middle, which kind of looks like a puck.
Yeah,
Unless,
for
if you don't
lack of
have a
better-
round sponge.
No, right. But for lack of a better phrase, it's a rubber ball, and
Yeah.
it's as the puck.
But soft.
Vulcanized rubber is what. I just had to throw it in there. That's what it is. But anyway,
and Canadian, of course.
and today, yes, of course.
Okay.
Now, Spongy is generally played on outdoor ice rinks, and players wear soft-soled boots or shoes instead of skates. And because the puck is soft, less padding is needed. No, not that guy. Okay, here we go. But players,
Adults play it too. That's right.
yeah, but the players, as you can see, still wear helmets, and sponge goalies look just like ice hockey goalies in boots. Now, the boots can't have anything that helps them grip the ice better, and the sticks must be unmodified regulation hockey sticks. So there are obviously
Wow.
rules and regulations for this.
Yeah.
Okay, the games are divided into 20-minute halves. Each team can have up to 6 players and 1 goalie on the ice at the same time. You can play with as few as 2 plus a goalie if you're short of players.
But that sounds like what we used to do when we were kids. You know, when you didn't have 9 kids to play
Oh, it's right.
baseball on
Whoever
each team, you
was
played with 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever was around, we're playing.
There
So-
you go.
Now the captain must have the letter C on front of their jersey. Now that's another rule. Now,
Okay.
Up to 2 alternates are allowed, and they must be identified with the letter A. I mean, they're really specific about this when you think of it.
Yeah.
Now, but here's why. Only the captain and the alternate may talk to the referee while the game is in session for any clarifications,
Oh, so they have referees.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
with one big exception.
Okay.
If a referee comes out flat and makes poor calls, all players are permitted to voice their displeasure.
Oh, that's fair.
Well, yeah. I mean, come on, it's got to be right. Now, there is absolutely no body checking or any form of physical contact allowed. A warning will be issued if a player has their hockey stick above waist level. And
Oh,
any misuse of the stick, including slashing and hooking, is not tolerated.
so people who like ice hockey and like the violence of ice hockey probably wouldn't care for this as much.
This is clearly, no, Paul, this is clearly toned down.
Like a nice tame version of hockey.
Exactly. And even stepping on the puck is not tolerated.
Oh,
Now, penalties are called for rule infractions, and a major penalty results in 6 minutes in the penalty box, or the sin bin, as it's called.
Oh,
And also, then there's a free shot for the other team when a penalty is called.
6 minutes and a free shot.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if in a 20-minute half, I mean, you're almost out for half the game. Or
What's a major infraction? Punching a referee or?
Well, unfortunately, my research didn't reveal that, so I'll have to go back to the drawing board on that one. But okay, but here it is. The key.
Okay.
The key is a 20 by 20 marked box in front of the net. A player may not stand in the opposition's key for longer than 3 seconds, which is similar to basketball.
There's the basketball influence. Yeah, that's an interesting little twist there.
Now, and if the score is tied at the end of the game, a 5-minute sudden victory overtime will be played. If a winner,
how Canadian, how polite. Instead of sudden death, they call it sudden victory.
Exactly. Now, if a winner still cannot be determined, the game will be decided by a 3-round shootout. If it's still tied after the shootout, they'll have a 1-for-1 shootout until one team finally misses and the other team scores.
Okay.
Now, Karen, while there's no professional Spongy league yet, Winnipeg does have, get ready for this, a 1,200 player Kildonan Sponge League.
Wow, 1,200 players.
1,200. Wow.
In this league, I mean, so it's
right, divided by 6, 6 players. That's at least, that's like around 200 teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, one thing is for sure. In Canada, 4 out of 5 dentists surveyed recommend Spongy for their patients who want to play hockey instead of playing ice hockey.
Good idea.
And that's a real value.
Yes, absolutely is.
Sponsored by dentists. That's a good idea. Well, wow, there's an interesting sport that we could almost play. Sponge hockey.
Paul and Karen, I don't think we get hurt playing that one. It's a lot safer than ice hockey.
They are padded. I can see the people are wearing pads all over the place and helmets because they're playing on ice. So
I would be slipping and sliding.
Yeah, I know. You gotta wait. I can't imagine. I can't believe they don't allow them to wear spikes.
Well, I guess that to make it not to be funny, a level playing field. Okay, everyone has to have boots. I mean, that's what they've come up with. But
yeah, there you go. Well, as always, I try to look to see if for photos. And John and I have known each other since college, and we've done a lot of things that we've forgotten about, intentionally in some cases.
Yes.
But turns out, John, I found a picture of us getting ready for a Spongy competition way back in the old days. So let's see if I can find that picture right here. This is just some people playing hockey. So this is a picture of John and I getting ready for a Spongy competition. And there it is right there.
I love it.
It's appropriate. That is so appropriate. The sponge cake for us. Oh, yeah.
There you go. That as far as John and I were concerned, Spongy men eating sponge cake.
That's
Got it.
And I think there was a half for each of us, and we were done. So Spongy as not spongy jumping, but Spongy from the What in the World of Sports with John DiNallo. Thanks again, John, for that great sport.
You're welcome. Yeah, thanks, Gary. Thank you.
At the we've reached the end of sports, which means it's time for everybody's favorite weird news game, Bluff the co-host.
Hey.
And I think even Bigfoot loves that game, doesn't he? Oh yeah, he's thrilled to play Bluff the co-host. So for those of you who have never listened to the show, the podcast before, it's really simple. I have 3 stories similar to the ones we've been talking about all afternoon. One big difference. While the stories that we've been talking about are all true, one or more of these stories on Bluff the co-host may be a bluff. And it's up to John, Karen, and those of you listening to decide which is which. That can't get much simpler than that. So gambling is allowed. So place your bets. Karen and John, put your hands on the buzzer and let's get right to story number 1. Everybody likes chocolate for Valentine's Day, but KFC wants to change that. For a limited time only, KFC is selling a 3-foot-high KFC chicken sandwich snuggler. That is a giant pillow that looks like a KFC chicken sandwich that was made near a nuclear power plant. It's 3 feet tall. While the size says beanbag, KFC says it's the kind of pillow women have been yearning for, especially women who dream of KFC chicken sandwiches. The KFC chicken sandwich snuggler is just $99.99 and only available online since don't fit drive-through window their restaurant. Get yours today before your sweetie goes vegan. So KFC for Valentine's Day is offering, and I'll say it again, the KFC chicken sandwich snuggler, a giant 3-foot tall pillow shaped like a chicken sandwich. Karen, what do you say? Would you be thrilled to get one of those for Valentine's Day?
I absolutely would not.
Okay. Now, is it real or a bluff?
I think it has to be a bluff because I haven't seen anything about this in social media. And there would be at least one person that would have said something.
And Karen knows her
So it's a
social
bluff.
media. That's why
I
she's
do.
the media mogul here at nuclearradio.net. So Karen says it's the bluff. John, how about you? I know you're a big KFC fan.
Yes, I am, but I'm with Karen on this one. And who comes up with this crackpot idea to have a 3-foot pillow? Come on.
Let's see if it's a bluff. That means I came up with the crackpot idea.
You're reporting it, Paul. I don't think you're creating that. I'm gonna say it's gotta be. I'm praying it's a bluff.
So John says so. Oh wow! So we have agreement for a change here. Both Karen and John say it's a bluff. Let's check with the judges, and the judges say get online to KFC.com, $99.99. You can get your KFC chicken sandwich snuggler. It's as gross as you think it is.
Oh my gosh.
That is terrible.
They paid somebody. They obviously paid somebody.
After the show, I'm so motivated. I'm going to go on their site and see what it looks like.
Okay.
And I'll be sure I won't buy it.
I think it should smell like a KFC chicken sandwich.
Oh no, that's even worse.
That's enough. That's enough. Oh my God.
Okay, let's check the scoreboard, and the score is 0-0. Woo! Oh boy, this is a tough competition here. Let's get right to story number 2. Hands on the buzzers. Marine biologists at an aquarium in Boston, Massachusetts, were worried that their fish were getting lonely because there were so few visitors during the pandemic, and they know that both fish and people like the sound of music and singing. So they decided to combine the two and hold a Zoom karaoke night for their fish. Interested participants, the humans, signed up for the song that they wanted to sing, and all were fish or water related. Speakers were placed near the aquariums and set to the best volume for the particular fish inside. According to the biologist, the most popular songs among the fish were Mac the Knife, Octopus's Garden, Beyond the Sea, Yellow Submarine, and anything by the Turtles and Blue Oyster Cult. So the aquarium in Boston that cheered up their fish by having a Zoom karaoke night singing fishy songs. What do you say, John and Karen? Is that fishy as in bluff, or is that a real story?
Well, I'll tell you, to me, it sounds very strange, but I'm going to say it's real.
John says it's real. Would you sing Mac the Knife to a fish?
No, of course not.
Just checking. Just checking, John. Make sure you haven't changed on me. Okay.
No problem, Paul. No problem.
John says it's a bluff. Karen, what do you?
No, he said it's real.
I say it's true. I say
real. Yeah.
Oh, John said it's true. I'm so. Oh boy.
And I'm agreeing.
I don't want to have to go into penalty box here.
No, that's
okay.
right.
So John says it's true. Karen,
and I'm going to agree with him because everyone is trying to find different activities to do on Zoom, and what a catchy thing that would be, to sing fishy songs to fish. I would not sing, but maybe we could get Alex Bevan or one of the other Northeast Ohio entertainers to do
Cleveland
that.
entertainers. Oh, I think they could enjoy something like that if it were real. Yeah. Okay, so both of you say that that's a real story.
Yes.
Okay, let's check with the judges, and the judges say, sorry, that's a bluff.
Oh,
Good idea,
I
but it's
th-
a bluff.
I think our aquarium should do that.
I think so too.
They
I
could
think so
make
too.
money.
Yeah. Or maybe we should do it
Yeah.
and sell the service to the aquarium.
Okay.
How about
We'll do
that?
that.
NewClevelandFish.net.
You
Oh,
wanna have-
.net. We're perfect.
you want to have happy fish. Think about that. Your
Yeah.
fish have to be happy. I mean,
Happy fish. Of course.
happy
Of course.
fish. You know.
I think about that every day before I go to bed. I ask God to make the fish happy every
Yes.
day. Okay, let's check the scoreboard, and the score is still 0-0. Oh, this is unbelievable.
Got to do something here.
Okay, boy, tough stories this week. Let's see. Not that it matters this week, but points are doubled in round number 3. So we have a chance. If one of you is correct and the other one is not, for a winner this week, or we could end up in the proverbial tie and go into not sudden death. What was it? Sudden victory?
Sudden victory.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's go. Hands on the buzzer. Story number 3. If you like to listen to National Public Radio while driving your Mazda, the place for you to live is in the state of Washington. Why? Because owners of 2016 Mazdas are reporting that their radios are permanently stuck on the local NPR radio station out of Seattle, and no amount of button pushing, dial spinning, or resetting will change it. The 3 Mazda dealers in Seattle are swamped with calls and have no idea what the problem could be. The station is also puzzled, but its engineers think the cause was a recent switch to 5G, and those older model 2016 Mazdas are stuck on 3G. If that's the case, Mazda says they have a part to fix it, but it won't be available for a few weeks. In the meantime, it's offering apologies and free therapy to owners of cars who would prefer to listen to their AM talk radio than NPR. Okay, so Mazdas in Seattle, Washington, that can only all of a sudden, very mysteriously, pick up the local NPR station and nothing else. What do you say, Karen? Real or bluff?
You know, before we went on air, we were talking about technology and how you
True.
can't explain how things happen.
True.
But this has to be the biggest bluff of all.
Oh, wow.
Oh, if it is a bluff, I'm grateful that my writing is getting better. Okay, so Karen, who by the way works at a technology company in her spare time, and it's hard to believe she has spare time, but Karen says it's a bluff. John, how about you?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm going against the grain on this one. I'm going to say it's so quirky, it's true.
So quirky, it's true. One of John's mottos. Okay.
Just one radio station. I mean, it seems
One radio station.
odd.
Yeah.
Seems so odd, but I'm gonna say
And
it's
only in a Mazda.
And only in a
That's the other-
2016.
right, only in
2016
only
Mazda.
in Washington
Right.
State, right? Exactly.
Yeah. So how about that? Okay. So John says that's so quirky it must be real. Karen says, heck no, I know technology. It's a bluff. Let's check with the judges. And the judges say, boy, I hope your boss isn't watching, Karen, because that's a real story.
Oh,
Actually,
Wow.
actually due to the station switching from 3G. I can't believe they were on 3G. They're not 4G, but they switched from 3G to 5G,
wow.
and it messed up their tower, but only on certain cars that were permanently programmed to 3G and couldn't compensate. So weird. I know. It's but look it up. Real story.
Wow.
So what that
John
does mean is
won.
John
Hey,
picked up 2
John,
points and he's the winner.
oh,
We
I'm
don't need to
happy.
go into sudden
Happy,
victory.
happy right now. That's good. That's good.
That's
I'll tell my
John's
wife
got
to come home.
something to celebrate at his Super Bowl party this week.
That's right. There you go. There it is. Oh.
Don't have to take time out during halftime and not watch the halftime show and go study up on your trivia.
Speaking of which, Paul, I understand, and Karen, I understand it's going to be a very long halftime.
Oh,
mean,
because
There's performers lined up. I mean, I don't know if you've seen that, but there's unless they're all playing together at the same time, I don't know.
none of them are playing. They all sing.
Well, Well, yeah, I guess singing, but there's going to be music. There's got to be music.
Well, yeah.
Come
But
on, there's got to be music in the Super
they're
Bowl.
going to have fish. They're going to have fish singing fish songs. That's
Oh my gosh, the happy
we should
fish.
call the Miami Dolphins. I think the
There you go.
Dolphins might get
It's
into
well
that.
connected, Paul.
It's going to be a very long event. And
I think so.
I don't care because the Cleveland Browns aren't playing.
Oh, but the other Ohio team is there. I know you guys are Michigan fans, but
Yeah,
no,
you can't get behind the Cincinnati. Cincinnati
No.
is an arch rival of the Browns for all these years. I
Right.
mean, it's a nice story for Cincinnati, quite frankly. But if you're a true Browns fan, I don't think that you can line up with them. I really don't.
well, I've heard some diehard Clevelanders mention the fact that if you dig deep enough, the Rams were once
Yeah.
the Cleveland Rams,
You're
Right,
You're
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
and that's
Hey,
why
I've
they're
been
gonna-
rooting interest now. Now that I think about that, thanks for explaining that to me. Go Rams. Go Rams.
while you're chomping down on your Doritos and brownies and whatever else you have.
Guacamole. You have to have
And
guacamole.
guacamole. There you
have to
go.
have
Right.
guacamole
Okay.
at the Super Bowl.
All right. Well, that means we've reached the end of another edition of What in the World. Thank you so much, all of you who tuned in live on Wednesday rather than Tuesday at a different date. Thank you to all of you who are watching us or listening to us in the future. We appreciate every single one of you. We're grateful for you to listening. Please help us promote the show. Like us, follow us, do all those cool things. Look me up on Facebook. I'm always interested in finding out who listens to our show. I want to thank my old friend John DiNallo for all that he does and for What in the World of Sports and color commentary. And as always, thank you to Karen Hale at newclevelandradio.net. Thank you for pulling it together to be with us today. And I'll leave it at that. Go visit newclevelandradio.net to find out how to listen to our show and all the great shows that Karen has. There's a podcast for everybody. And on that note, go Rams, go Bengals, whoever you're rooting for. Enjoy yourself on Valentine's Day, and we'll see you next week.
Have a great
Take
day,
care,
everybody.